Welcome to The Awakened Heart, a podcast for healing women. This is a place where your voice always matters, your body is eternally sacred, and your journey home to yourself is honored no matter how winding or bumpy the road. I'm Autumn Moran, licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas, life coach in Texas and beyond, yoga instructor, but ultimately your companion on this divine sacred path we call healing. If you're a neurodivergent woman, whether you have ADHD, autism, bipolar, trauma, or just know that your nervous system runs a little hotter than most, you know that traditional just breathe advices often are not enough. You know, when your sensory system gets flooded by sounds, lights, or textures that others barely notice. And this can happen within seconds. Within milliseconds. Your emotional reactions feel bigger, faster, and more intense than what seems quote unquote normal. You mask all day to fit in, then come home completely depleted and couch rot, or go through the motions of your household responsibilities. Simple tasks may feel overwhelming because your brain is processing everything at maximum volume. And well-meaning people tell you to just relax. Don't be so sensitive. Or calm down. It makes me want to breathe fire like a dragon. But here's what I want you to know. Your overwhelm is not a character flaw. It's often your nervous system working overtime in a world that's just not designed for you. So today, we're going to talk about 5 specific dialectical behavioral therapy skills that actually work for the brain, skills that honor your intensity instead of trying to suppress it. Because you don't need to be less sensitive, you just need better tools, better accommodations. So before we dive into what's going to work, let's talk about why so much advice doesn't work for us. So it's the problem with the one size fits all, right? And I'm guilty of it too. In my baby therapist days, it was like, let's just breathe. And then the more I grow into my therapist hat, the more I grow into just the world, right? Sometimes the breath is just not accessible. Because most coping strategies assume you can just focus on your breath without your mind wandering into the million different tabs you have open. They assume that a 5-minute meditation will calm your nervous system. Well, in reality, you may need a lot more time. Most coping strategies assume you can easily identify what you're feeling. And when you might experience emotional flooding or you might experience alexithymia, it's not easy to identify what's going on. You just know something's going on. And most coping strategies assume that there's a clear, fixable cause for the overwhelm. When it may be sensory, it may be hormonal, it may be social, and it may be cognitive, and it may be all those at once. For many of us, overwhelm isn't just feeling stressed. It's sensory overload. The age-old saying where you hear the hum of the refrigerator, it's like nails on the chalkboard. For me, it's lighting. For fluorescent lights, I can hear that dancing in there. LED lights, I cannot handle it. That overloads my senses. I've said it on several episodes, and I'll say it again. Get rid of the LED. I know evil Amazon has original OG light bulbs that aren't made to be flashy. So I got sidetracked because I always get sidetracked when I start talking about lights because it's such a thing. TV sounds are overwhelming, multiple conversations going on at once. Maybe the TV sound going while someone's trying to talk to you, like sensory overload. Sometimes the overwhelm is emotional intensity, when feelings hit you like a tsunami instead of like gentle waves coming up, like, oh, I'm getting mad. Oh, that's really irritating. It's like, no, there's a fucking problem. Let's burn it down. You know, when you feel everything at 150% and everyone tells you it's too much, or worse yet, which really pisses me off, it's not that big of a deal. No, Martha, it is a big deal. You see me reacting in a big deal way. So obviously it's a big deal to me. So let's honor that instead of trying to make me small. No offense to Marthas. I just like to pull names. Overwhelm isn't just feeling stressed, it's also cognitive overwhelm. This goes back to having a million tabs, 100 tabs open at once. You're hyper focused on something urgent but can't switch to something important, so transitions are hard. So that's overwhelm. Or your executive functioning feels like trying to grab water with your hands. It's overwhelming. Organizing, planning, time managing. It overwhelms the brain. Social masking can be exhausting. When you've spent all day performing to be normal and you come home with nothing left of yourself or for your loved ones. And then we got the good old rejection sensitivity, when criticism, even that constructive feedback, feels like proof that you're fundamentally flawed. And this is why DBT is so helpful for us, because it was originally created for people with intense emotions and sensitive nervous systems. It doesn't try to make you less sensitive. It teaches you how to work with your intensity instead of against it, instead of trying to make it small. Took a little sippy sip. So, DBT has lots of acronyms. And I'm going to cover 5 skills, DBT skills today that I think are quite helpful. We're going to do TIPP skills. TIPP, this is for emergency emotional regulation, when shit hits the fan and you need something fast. Please, for maintaining baseline stability. It's to keep yourself in check. It's to make sure you're self-caring. It's what you do while it's good, not when the emotions are high. Stop. This is for breaking the overwhelm spiral. So it is what it is. It's to stop the spiral. Radical acceptance. I mean, this is accepting things as they are without judgment, not good, not bad, for the things you can't control. And then there's distress tolerance. And this is for riding out the storm. This is for when you're having a tough time and you're ebbing and flowing and things might get a little rough, but they're not like on fire. So let's dive in. Skill number 1, TIPP. This is your emergency emotional reset. This is your go-to when you're emotional overwhelmed and you need to bring your nervous system down right now. This isn't about fixing the problem. It's about getting your brain back online so you can think clearly. Do you hear me? We're not solving problems. We're just caretaking the nervous system so that we can get back online to think clearly. All right. TIPP. P as in pickle. So T, temperature change. Cold temperature activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you regulate your nervous system. An ice pack on the chest. Ice cubes in a Ziploc bag so you can fidget, hold them in your hand. Run cold water over your wrist. Put a wet rag behind your ears or on the back of your neck, or use that ice pack. Dab it places. Take a cool shower. I'm not saying necessarily a cold shower, but a cool shower. Splash your face with some cold water. If it's cold outside, step outside. If you're in your car, blast the AC and freeze yourself out. Make it a rule that you have a jacket in the car, that others bring their own cardigan or jacket, because sometimes it gets frigid in there and you're not changing it. And that's okay. Those can be your car rules. So this helps. Cold, temperature change. The cold gives your nervous system something strong and immediate to focus on. Let it do its job. Next letter is I, intense exercise. I'm talking about moving your body intensely for a short burst, not a workout, just getting your heart rate up quickly. Doing jumping jacks in the bathroom at work, running up and down the stairs, or hell, even walking up and down stairs, because just to be honest, no matter how good of shape I've been in my life, you give me a set of stairs and I'll show you someone that looks like they've never done any exercise in their lives. That Manitou incline, that was a bitch. All right, so dance aggressively to one song. Punch dance, right? Punch it out if you need to. Shake the hips if you need to. Put on a good banging song. Do some wall push-ups, squats, burpees. Sprint in place for 30 seconds. Exercise burns off stress hormones, cortisol and the adrenaline that fuel the overwhelm. Movement can be regulating, more regulating than stillness, especially for an ADHD brain. Excuse me, I'm taking a sip. I'm drinking throughout this episode. Forgive me, forgive me. The first P is paced breathing. So, pace breathing, box breathing, square breathing. It's a double duo, right? Because the ideal of pace breathing or box breathing is that you're imagining a box, you're staring at a box, you're drawing a box. As you breathe, you inhale, drawing up the left side of the box for 4 seconds. Then you hold your breath as you draw the top part of the box for 4 seconds. And then you exhale as you draw the second side down the box for 4 seconds. And then you close the box with the bottom line, holding your breath for 4 seconds. So wherever you want that box, and there are YouTube videos on this, inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath, reset. You can also count with your fingers, just thumb to fingertip. Inhale as you breathe. Exhale, touch another fingertip. Inhale as you breathe. Exhale, touch another fingertip. You can hum exhales, make some noises as you breathe out. This can be more engaging, and this can also be a double duo of regulating the nervous system, because humming in itself is a nervous system regulator. So it can help calm you down. The last P, progressive muscle relaxation. Sometimes this can be too slow. The original way can be slow for an overwhelmed brain. So quick, tense release. Scrunch everything for 5 seconds. Just tight, tight, tight. Squeeze your bum, squeeze your legs, squeeze your toes, squeeze your feet, squeeze your fists, your arms, your shoulders, your face. Squeeze, 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 and release. Make real tight fist. Hold them for 5 to 10 seconds and then shake them out. Tense your shoulders in your ears and then drop them. Tense your shoulders in your ears and then drop. Okay? So this is progressive muscle relaxation. The original way is to start with one section. I'll start with the fist. You squeeze for 5 to 10 seconds and then release. You move on to the forearms, the biceps, shoulders, neck, face, chest, belly, back, bum, legs, feet, toes. And then when you've done them all one by one like that, you squeeze everything tight, tight, tight for 10 seconds and then go heavy. So this can be helpful for when ready to go to bed, but this can also be helpful in a heightened state. So if you need quick release, utilize the shorter moments, like scrunching everything and then releasing, or making tight fists then releasing. Because this gives your body something active to do while also creating contrast between tension and relaxation. So it's working with the tension and releasing it. You don't have to do all 4. Pick 1 or 2 that feel most accessible in the moment. Write these down, take a note. The goal is to shift your nervous system state so you can think clearly again. Not to solve the problem, just to get back online for rational thought. Skill number 2, please. Please is about prevention. It's about taking care of your mind by taking care of your body. When your physical needs are met, you're much less likely to get overwhelmed in the first place. So please starts with PL, treat physical illness. This means treat any injury or illness in a timely manner. Visit the doctor when necessary and take medications as prescribed. For neurodivergent women, this can be a challenge. There's often sensory processing differences that make you miss pain, illness, or discomfort cues. You might hyperfocus or ignore physical symptoms until they become too severe. You may be used to it because neurodivergent individuals have higher rates of autoimmune conditions, digestive issues, and chronic pain, so you may think it's not a big deal, it's just norm. And you may struggle with medical advocacy or explaining your symptoms clearly. So, set phone alarms to check in with your body throughout the day to see how you feel. Don't ignore any persistent headaches, stomachache, or unusual fatigue. Keep a symptom journal if you have ongoing health concerns. Find the healthcare providers who understand neurodivergent presentations. They're becoming more and more prevalent, but you have to look. It's like looking for a neurodivergent, knowledgeable, affirming therapist on Psychology Today. You got to work. You got to look through those pages after pages. And then you got to do your consultations, right? So don't be afraid to ask certain questions in your first medical appointments to make sure that you and the doctor are a good fit. And if it's not, that's okay. Pay your copay and let's go. Let's find another one. And take your prescribed medications consistently. That age-old, well, I'm doing good, I don't need my meds. That doesn't make sense. You're doing good because of the meds. Keep taking them. Stop trying to be something you're not. Excusez-moi. Okay, so now we'll get back into it. The PL is a little tricky, right? Treat physical illness. They get the P from physical and the L from illness. So we're putting the please together, so PL, and then we're going to E. Eat balanced meals. This means maintain a healthy diet and nutrition, eating in moderation. Not too much, and obviously not too little, ladies. And I understand that the reality of this is ADHD meds can often suppress appetites. Autism or just sensory issues can create rigid food preferences and aversions. You might forget to eat entirely or emotionally eat when overwhelmed. Sensory sensitivities can severely limit food options. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm working on this one now. More to come. And executive dysfunctioning can make meal planning feel nearly impossible. So what does this mean? As always, it means to approach yourself gently. Keep emergency safe foods that are as nutritious as possible and appealing to you. Don't fight your safe foods. Honor them while gradually expanding when and where possible, right? Get your safe food and then get the little ingredients to make a new side, the ingredients to make a new dessert, the ingredients to make a new dish. And if it doesn't work, you still have the safe food. I mean, eat when you remember, even if it's not a traditional mealtime. But also set up systems, right? The goal to, I don't know, thriving as a neurodivergent person is to have systems and accommodations set up for you so that you can use your superpower brain to the fullest, to be all that you're meant to be in this lifetime. So, yes, remember to eat when you remember to eat, but also set alarms. Have built-in reminders of like, it's time to honor your body. It's time to nourish your machine. It's mealtime. And with that, give yourself transitions before you stop doing what you're doing to go eat, and then transitions to stop eating to go back to what you were doing. Again, accommodate the shit out of yourself. Have transitions. The one thing about executive dysfunctioning is that we have a hard time transitioning from task to task. So build in those transitions so your brain can function properly. Depending on where you are with the Ayurveda scale or just eating, what method of eating or methodology of form of eating you prescribe to, please please consider choosing liquid nutrition. And I say this with a lot of care. Smoothies and protein shakes. Smoothies midday, maybe not in the morning, because some research shows that the cold drinks are bad. It's bad for your energy. But if that's what you can take and if that's what works for your constitution, then that's what works. Be very, very wary of protein shakes. Look at your ingredients. You don't want any natural artificial flavoring. You don't want any carrageenan in. You don't want any seed oils. You don't want any high oleic oils. Like, maybe get one that's not a milk base, that's more of a clear base that you can mix with water and have more control over. They seem to have somewhat better ingredients. I don't think you'll be able to get away from natural flavorings, but just look at your ingredients before you choose the liquid. Try to choose the best one. And when your executive functioning is high, batch prep some foods, chop some carrots, chop some cucumbers, make a little salad. Whether you eat it all or not, it's there for you to chew on. It's there for you to snack on. All right, so we got PL, physical illness, E, eat balanced meals, A, avoid mind and mood altering substances. What does this mean? This means to take only the medications that are prescribed to you and avoid alcohol and other substances that may affect your mood. This is a big one. This is a big one here in our culture. Like, just Texas culture alone, most things are around some sort of alcohol consumption. So it may make you an outsider, but also mocktails are a thing now, and they're not unheard of, and a lot of places have them. Alcohol is poison. It is poisoning your organs every time you drink it. The aftermath of it leads to anxiety and depression, and it interferes with your sleep. It is a known carcinogen that it can cause cancer. We don't smoke cigarettes because we don't want cancer. So let's not drink alcohol because we don't want cancer. Take an edible. It's not going to hurt your internals. As I say, to avoid mind-altering substances. CBD, THC is a healing property. We can all disagree to agree to disagree. I don't know. But if you're going to have one to choose from, if I had cigarettes, alcohol, and THC product in front of me, THC is the one, right? I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I'm saying choose your least worst option, right? Nicotine out, alcohol out. And if you find yourself relying on nicotine, check your ADHD meds or get on some ADHD meds. There's a lot of research coming out how nicotine can treat ADHD symptoms. So some people that are chronically nicotine users just might be ADHD. When it comes to caffeine, this is also a substance that's mood and mind altering. So limit your caffeine. I am not one to say don't have caffeine at all. But limit it, right? Know how it affects your body. If it's the first thing you get in the morning and then you feel jittery, maybe push your coffee back after your body has had some time to wake up. And then have a cutoff time of 2 or 3. No caffeine after that. Have a limit of 1 to 2 cups a day. There's benefits to caffeine. So I'm not necessarily saying don't ever have it, but be limited with it and be aware of your sensitivities to it. And then consider alternatives for self-medication, movement, sensory tools, therapy. All right, we're at the S, balance sleep. Get enough sleep, but not too much, not too little, right? I read this thing where it was they did a study on how many hours of sleep women should have. And the average hours women should have is 10 hours of sleep a night. And the conclusion of the study was that men should have the parenting duties at night so that women can have their fully required 10 hours of sleep. Yikes, right? No one told us that. So 8 to 10 hours. 8 to 10 hours is where you want to be if you're a woman. And focus on sleep quality over hitting any exact number. Create a sensory-friendly sleep environment. Blackout curtains, white noise, comfortable temperature, weighted blankets, pillows all around you, supportive pillows for your back and your belly and in between your legs, an eye mask if you need it, earplugs if you need it, whatever you need to let sleep feel comfortable. Develop a calming bedtime routine that works for your sensory needs, right? Maybe it's a little mood lamp. Maybe it's darkening the house an hour before, lighting a candle, setting the mood, taking a shower, a bath, changing into sleep clothes, reading a book, journaling, meditating, anything like that. And limit screens before bed. Try an hour before to get off the phone. And I tell you what, this is my new thing and I'm sharing, whether it's old or new to you, I'm going to share. I have been turning my phone on airplane mode at night. And it is the first time I have slept through the night, several nights in a row. So maybe it's placebo effect. I don't know. But if you're having difficulty waking up in the night, maybe turn the airplane mode on, see what happens. And then we get to E, and that is exercise, 20, 30 minutes of body movement a day. It doesn't have to be structured. It doesn't have to be intense. It doesn't have to look like what others are doing. It just has to be you moving your body in a way that feels good to you 20 to 30 minutes each day. Dancing, swimming, walking, martial arts, yoga, stretching, fidgeting, pacing, cleaning, gardening. Move it. Make that body work. But start baby steps if you're not there yet. Start with 5 to 10 minutes if 20 to 30 feels overwhelming. Break the exercise up throughout the day. Consider your stimming and fidgeting count as movement. And find movement that feels regulating, not depleting. Not that wears you out, but makes you feel rejuvenated, like you're glad you moved. So remember, this isn't about perfection. This is about maintaining, paying attention to and treating physical illness, eating balanced meals, avoiding mind and mood altering substances, balancing your sleep, and exercising. Pick one element to focus on this week. Maybe it's drinking more water. Maybe it's taking your medications consistently or adding 10 minutes of movement to your day. Small, consistent changes in how you care for your body will create a more stable foundation for managing the overwhelm. When our physical needs are met, our nervous systems have more capacity to handle stress, sensory input, and emotional challenges. Please isn't about optimization. It's about basic self-care that honors how your unique brain and body actually work. All right, skill number 3, stop. When you notice overwhelm building up, stop helps you interrupt the spiral before it takes over completely. So S stands for stop. Literally pause what you're doing. Put down your phone, step back out from the conversation, close your laptop. I know this can be hard if you're having hyper-focus or difficulty switching between tasks. But set a phone alarm or ask someone to remind you when to pause. This is like the Pomodoro technique. If it's a job or task that is overwhelming or can overwhelm you, do it with the Pomodoro technique. 20 minutes of work, 5-minute break. Do that 3 times, then take a real break. If that seems too much for a neurodivergent brain, do the reverse. 5-minute work, 20-minute break. Repeat that 3 times, then take a break. Somewhere in the middle, you'll transition over to the Pomodoro technique. One conscious breath, not a breathing exercise, just one intentional breath that says, I'm here in the present. Take a breath. That's next up. So we're going to stop. We're going to take a breath. Just one that says, I'm here, I'm present. Then we're going to observe. Notice what's happening without judgment. What do you feel in your body? What do you need right now? What triggered this overwhelm? What thoughts are racing through your mind? So again, for anyone experiencing this in a neurodivergent lens, sensory overwhelm, cognitive overwhelm, emotional and social overwhelm. Excuse me, I'm taking a sip. So stop, take a breath, observe, and then P, proceed mindfully. Ask yourself, what's the most important thing for me right now? Not everything on your to-do list, not what everyone else needs. What actually is most important in this moment right now? So some options. You can reduce the input. Turn off the music, mute the television, dim the lights. Remove yourself from the stimulating environment. You can pick one thing to do. Pick the single most important task and let everything else wait. You can ask for help. text, ask someone in person, delegate something. And you could change your environment. Sometimes just a different room or space can reset everything. The point of stop is to practice this when you're not overwhelmed, so it becomes automatic when you are. The goal isn't to eliminate overwhelm, it's to catch it earlier and respond more skillfully. So going back to that Pomodoro technique, have those markers, those alarms in place so you can stop and check in with yourself and use this. Stop, take a breath, observe, and proceed mindfully. Check in with yourself throughout the day using stop. Skill number 4, radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is one of the hardest DBT skills because we often face things that genuinely shouldn't be happening. But first, let's talk about what it is and what it is not. What radical acceptance is not. It's not liking what's happening. It's not agreeing that it's fair or right. It's not giving up on change. And it's not being passive or resigned. Radical acceptance is acknowledging reality as it is right now. Radical acceptance is stopping the fight against what's already happened. It's conserving energy for things you can actually influence. But this can be hard for neurodivergent women because we often face discrimination and misunderstanding about our needs. We face sensory environments that feel genuinely painful. We have social expectations that don't fit our natural patterns. We may face late diagnoses that mean many years of confusion and self-blame. And we often face masking fatigue for trying to fit into the neurotypical standards. It can feel like accepting these things means giving up on justice or change. So here's some examples. I radically accept that I have a nervous system that processes the world differently. This doesn't mean that you stop advocating for your accommodations. It means you stop fighting your own neurology. It means you work with your brain instead of against it. I radically accept that some people won't understand my needs. This doesn't mean you stop educating people or setting boundaries. It means you stop exhausting yourself trying to convince everyone. It means you find your people and invest energy there. I radically accept that I need things that others don't need. This doesn't mean that you stop asking for what you need. It means you stop feeling ashamed of your requirements. I radically accept that my path looks different. This does not mean you give up on your goals. It means you stop comparing your timeline to other people's timelines. It means you create success on your own terms. So how do we practice this radical acceptance? When you're fighting reality, you might feel tension in your jaws or shoulders. You might be holding your breath. You might have a rigid posture. So notice your body. Notice the resistance in your body. And then use accepting language. Instead of saying, this shouldn't be happening, just try to say, this is what's happening now. I don't like this and it's real. I can acknowledge this without approving of it. And then focus on response, not resistance. Ask yourself, given that this is my reality now, what's my wisest response? Often we stop fighting when we stop fighting reality, we actually have more energy and clarity to change what needs to be changed. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's choosing where to put your energy, more wisely, if you will. And the last skill that we've come to is distress tolerance, aka riding out the storm. These are skills for when you're in crisis and just need to get through the next few minutes, hours, or days without making things worse. The TIPP skills we covered earlier is one distress tolerance skill. And here are some others that work well with, specifically with the neurodivergent nervous system. Intense sensations. So when your emotions feel too big, sometimes you need sensory input that matches the intensity. Very hot, very cold showers, strong smells, so essential oils, loud music in your headphones, heavy weighted blankets for pressure. You can use distractions that actually work. Count backwards from 100 by sevens. Name everything you can see that's blue. Recite song lyrics or movie quotes. Do crossword puzzles or just search word puzzles or Sudoku. Watch something that fully absorbs your attention. And physical engagement. Clean something, do a jigsaw puzzle, knit, draw, do a craft, organize a drawer or a closet, play a game on your phone that requires focus. So physical engagement. And then self-soothe. Comfort your senses. Tap into the touch, taste, smell, sight, sound. Herbal tea, gum, mint, sour candies, your favorite comfort food. Candles, essential oils, baking cookies or bread or flowers. Dim the lights, put on pretty pictures around you, look at nature, whether it's on the computer or in real life. Get some nature sounds, your favorite music, try to sing or hum. Stress balls, pets, fidget toys, soft blankets, just comfort your senses. And improve the moment. When you can't change the situation, you can sometimes change your experience of it. This overwhelm means I care deeply. This meltdown is my nervous system releasing pressure. This struggle is teaching me about my needs. So make meaning of it. Feel free to pray or reach out to like your spiritual deity or spiritual guidance or the universe or anything like that. Whatever connects you to something larger than this moment, to just ask for clarity, ask for guidance, ask for peace, or just bring it in from the collective unconscious. Just tap into everyone that wants to send their love. Whatever feels good. Focus on one thing in the moment. Focus entirely on drinking your cup of tea, your cup of coffee. Pay attention only to petting your pet. Nothing else. Not petting and watching TV. Not petting and scrolling, but just petting the cat. Be completely present with one song. Do nothing but listen or sing and be with that song. One thing at a time. Eliminate all the input and do one thing at a time. And then take an imaginary brief vacation. Imagine yourself somewhere peaceful. Look at pictures, videos, YouTubes of places that calm you. Watch a short video of something beautiful, somewhere beautiful. So the goal is to not freak out and then be like, what was it I learned? The goal is to create your crisis kit ahead of time. List your go-to distress tolerance skills. Keep supplies ready, fidgets, comfort items, ice packs. Have phone numbers of supportive people. If you say, yeah, I wish I had somebody, 741-741 is a crisis text line, an emergency text line. If you are feeling low, if you need to connect with a human, 741-741 is a text line for mental health. They will talk to you. They will help you gain coping skills or action steps before they send you on your way. And remember, the goal isn't to feel better, it's to get through without making things worse. So here's the truth about DBT skills. They don't work if you only try them when you're already in crisis. These skills need to become part of your regular routine. Practice when you're calm, so they're available when you're not. So start small. Don't try to master all these skills at once. Pick one that resonated with you the most and practice it throughout the week. These skills were created for everyone, so modify them to work for your brain. If traditional breathing doesn't work, try humming or counting or grounding yourself by using your senses, what you see, hear, smell, touch, or taste. If mindfulness feels impossible, try a movement meditation. Go for a walk, sway back and forth, rock back and forth. If please feels overwhelming, just focus on one element. Keep a calm down kit in your car, office, and bedroom. Create sensory-friendly spaces in your home. Have comfort items easily accessible to you at all times. Treat yourself like a toddler or a baby. Always have a bag with you that's just to entertain you, soothe you, change your clothes, feed you, to do anything that may come up for you. Have your go bag with you. And start noticing your patterns, like what time of the day are you mostly overwhelmed? What situations consistently trigger you? What do your early warning signs look like? Which skills work best for different types of overwhelm that you experience? You'll forget to use these skills. You'll use them wrong. You will have moments where nothing works. That's not failure. That's just being human, because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is having more options and being gentler with yourself in difficult moments. Ask for accommodations at work, school, or in relationships. Your needs aren't excessive. They are necessary. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. You are not too sensitive, you're not too emotional, and you're not too much. You're a woman with a beautiful, intense, creative brain that experiences the world in full-fledged color, while most people see this shit in grayscale. The goal isn't to dim your light or quiet your intensity. The goal is to learn how to work with your nervous system so you can shine sustainably. Your overwhelm makes sense. Your needs are valid. Your way of being in the world is not a problem to be solved. It's a gift to be honored. These DBT skills, they're not about making you more quote unquote normal. They're about giving you the tools to thrive as exactly who you are. So this week, I challenge you. Choose one of these DBT skills from today's episode and try it 3 times this week. Not when you're in crisis, but when you're relatively calm. Practice building the neural pathways so it's there when you need it. So ask yourself, which of these skills mentioned today felt most accessible to me right now? Do that one. Practice that one. And remember, this healing isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more skillfully, compassionately, authentically yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for being brave enough to honor your neurodivergent experience instead of trying to fix it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep shining your bright light. If this episode helped you feel more understood and less alone, please share it with another neurodivergent woman who might need it. I'd love to hear from you. Message me, comment, or follow. And if you're looking for more, looking for a deeper dive, I offer private sessions in virtual therapy if you're in Texas, and virtual life coaching if you're outside the state or abroad. Whether you're healing trauma, navigating a big life shift, or just ready to come home to yourself, it is my honor, it is my blessing, it is my life's purpose to hold space for women just like you every single day. If that's something you're curious about, you can fill out a consultation request via my link tree. You can catch out a good Spotify playlist called Divine Woman, made for healing women through softness, strength, and empowerment, and more resources to guide you home to your voice and your body and your power. You are never too late, you're never too much, and you're never too far gone. And you don't have to figure this out all alone. Until next time, my dears, may you be happy and free. May mine and your healing ripple outward to bless the world with happiness and freedom. Take care of you, and I'll see you soon.